That's 1965 football captain Paul Savage leading the team in pregame push-ups. And this is the 17th in a series of similar films, which each year are produced through the auspices of the Alumni Council of Princeton University. Stash Malashevsky, number 61. Head coach Dick Coleman, who led the Tigers to 9 straight victories the previous season. Assistant coach Jake McCandless works with Princeton punter Bill Berkeley. Tiger linemen get some last-minute looks from defensive coach Warren Harris. Against a longtime rival, Rutgers, Princeton begins its 65 season at Palmer Stadium on September 25th. Highlight of the game is a modern field goal kicking record by Charlie Gogolak. Here he kicks 52 yards, the longest of his 6 against Rutgers. Princeton goes on to win the game 32-6 with the help of Charlie's field goal barrage, a very talented kicker from Wilton, New York. October 2nd, New York City, Baker Field, Princeton versus Columbia. There's Ron Landeck, Princeton's wonderful tailback from Middleburg Heights, Ohio, warming up for the Ivy League opener against Buff Donnelly's Lions. Princeton's ball, right formation on its 36-yard line. Landeck makes a fine adjustment against a troublesome end to hit Bob Bedell in the flat, and a good block by Johnny Bowers helps make this an 18-yard gain. Princeton in I formation. Landeck fakes a belly, retains the ball, and again hits Bedell in the flat. The senior from Hudson, Ohio, makes a first down on Columbia's 26. I formation to the left, with short side end split. Landeck sweeps left behind well-timed blocks by Kerstetter, Bedell, and Malashevsky. And it's goal to go on the Lions 6. Here, Landeck runs the option and elects to hold the ball. With a good block by Bedell in the end zone, he scores, standing up. One of Landeck's greatest talents as a passer is his ability to pick out alternates. Just minutes later, you see him demonstrate this. Attempting to hit Cash Dollar in a crossing pattern, he picks out Bowers all alone behind the Columbia secondary. And the Tigers have another touchdown. Lions ball third quarter. Despite a fine rush by Kazumbo and Gloyd, Valentine fires a nice pass to Dennis, and a first down on the Princeton 3. Now watch the fine defensive play by Walt Kazumbo, Princeton's junior end from South Plainfield, New Jersey. No gain. Next, Ron Grossman, junior linebacker from Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, is the hero. Ron intercepts a pass over the middle to end the Lion threat. In this situation, Landeck makes a fine call. He sends Lawson Cash Dollar deep as a single receiver and tags him perfectly. The big end from Beaver, Pennsylvania makes it a 47-yard gain. Princeton's ball, left formation. Landeck gets extremely fine protection as he passes again to Cash Dollar on a crossing pattern. First down on the Lions 29. With the fullback flanking right, Landeck fakes to Bowers and goes up the middle after a fine block by Cash Dollar on the linebacker. Fullback again out as a flanker as Landeck sweeps. Watch Bedell block the Columbia end. Ron cuts through as Princeton beats the Lions 31-0. The Tigers travel to Ithaca, New York to meet the Big Red of Cornell at Sholkoff Field. Cornell's ball first quarter. Park Gloyd and Walt Kazumbo smears Spunagle for a 10-yard loss. Gloyd is a sophomore from Seattle, Washington. Cornell's forced to punt. From the right side of the Princeton line, Paul Savage busts through to block it. And it's a safety. Paul's from Lambertville, New Jersey, and he's a great Tiger captain. On the ensuing kickoff, we see an outstanding block by Savage and by Chuck Peters and Pete Zaitzoff, too. Bert Kerstetter picks up the rolling ball, and his teammates pop open that hole. Burt gets all the way to the big red, 27. Speaking of blocking, Kerstetter and Bedell do a nice job for Landeck as Ron races into the end zone untouched. 9-0 in favor of Princeton. But just moments later, Cornell explodes. Spinagle gets good protection and wings one to Fullerton. He snares it on the dead run and never stops. A 71-yard pass play for a touchdown. 7-9 in favor of Princeton. In the third quarter, a fine march by Cornell is stopped by the Tiger defense. Kazumbo throws Spinagle for a 9-yard loss. Once again, a key defensive play, and once again it's Kazumbo, Princeton's great junior end, who breaks through. Another 9-yard loss for Cornell. Princeton's ball. On a running pass, Landeck hits Bedell, and two beautiful blocks by Bowers and Cashdollar help make it a 14-yard gain. Second down and 10, left formation. Landeck sweeps behind the threat of a pass. With a good downfield block by Bedell, Ron powers all the way to the Cornell 21-yard line. Moments later, on a third down and 7 situation, Landeck jump passes to Bill Potter for a touchdown. A fine effort by the junior end from Barrington, Illinois. And Princeton leads 19-7. Cornell's ball as they try to fight back. An attempted sideline pass by Spinagle is picked off by Malashevsky, Princeton's great senior guard from Davenport, Iowa. First and 10 for the Tigers on the Cornell 14. Princeton quickly converts this break into a touchdown on a running pass from Landeck to Bedell. But watch the blocking in the end zone corner by Bowers and Cashdollar. As Coach Dick Coleman stresses, this kind of play helps team morale. And now notice the unorthodox Cornell defense as they try to stop a field goal attempt by Gogolak. Two men standing piggyback. But it doesn't work. From 44 yards away, Charlie boots one right through the uprights, and Princeton goes on to beat Cornell 26-7. JV coach Donovan with Bedell and Peters playing strategy as the Tiger takes on Colgate. It's Colgate's ball. But fine defensive play by number 86, Steve Pierce, the sophomore end, and a nice tackle by junior back Hayward Gibson throws them for a loss. Again, it's that Princeton defense led by Captain Savage. Paul rushes the Colgate passer hard and throws him for a 10-yard loss. Second quarter, Colgate's ball. A bad snap from center and a stiff rush by Larry Stupsky, a junior end from Jacksonville, Florida, and it's a 15-yard loss. From a shotgun formation, the Red Raiders attempt to pass the ball. But Doug James, a junior safety man from Fayetteville, New York, intercepts. Doug races 40 yards for a touchdown, and Princeton goes on to beat Colgate 27-0. Palmer Stadium, October 23rd. Princeton plays host to the Red and Blue of Pennsylvania. Coach Coleman's Tigers go into the game against Penn with 13 victories in a row. Princeton's ball and a strong side sweep. Notice how that defensive end takes himself out under the pressure. With Bedell and Kerstetter leading the way, Ron Landeck makes a 17-yard gain to the Pennsylvania 15. And here's a head-on shot in slow motion of Kerstetter going over the top in the Princeton wedge. 7-0 in favor of the Tigers. The next time they get the ball, Princeton goes all the way again. This time it's Landeck with a pass. Watch Princeton's left end as he fakes out his man. Bill Potter gets into the end zone where Landeck hits him for a Tiger touchdown. The Quakers ball. And not only is the Tiger offense going, so is the defense. An attempted pen pass is beautifully intercepted by Doug James. Princeton's ball, left end split. Getting fine blocks from Kerstetter and Len Brubaker, Landeck passes to Bowers, who outraces the sprinter Owen for a Princeton touchdown. Here we see that same play from ground level, where you can see more clearly the blocks by Kerstetter and Brubaker on the flank. The danger of Landeck's running uncovers Bowers, and Johnny really shows his speed. A mighty fast junior from Traverse City, Michigan. Today's game in Palmer Stadium is one of Princeton's best offensive displays of the season. Pennsylvania's ball, and watch Paul Savage stop that man for no gain. More of the same. This time, sophomore linebacker Craig Stone of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, nails the runner. The Quakers in I formation. Creedon back to pass. It's intercepted by Grossman, who gets excellent blocking, and then races down to the Penn 19. That's the Princeton defensive platoon coming off the field. Princeton's ball, goal to go. Number 47 is Dave Martin, a junior tailback from Harrington Park, New Jersey. Dave picks up 6 yards off tackle, and it's a Tiger touchdown. Once again, Princeton fireworks. This time, it's Bobby Weber aiming to pass. Behind the threat of a hook pass to Rich Lombardi, he passes deep down the middle to Bruce Gates. And the Tigers are on the 5. Goal to go. Landeck fakes a running pass and makes a fine run, moving all the way to the end zone with blocking by Kerstetter and Bedell. Third quarter, and Princeton strikes again. From a low angle behind the goalposts, you see Ron Landeck on a running pass. There it goes, and his target is Johnny Bowers. Nicely done as Princeton stampedes Pennsylvania 51-0. Seeks its 4th Ivy League win of the season against Brown. Coach Bob Flug watches intently as it's Tigers ball for the first time. On a beautifully thrown pass by Landeck, Johnny Bowers goes all the way for a Princeton touchdown. A 40-yard scoring play. Midway through the quarter, Brown is forced to punt. Hayward Gibson slips through to block it, and the free ball is picked up by Stash Malashevsky, who's dropped on the 4-yard line. And Princeton's ready to score again. Bert Kerstetter will carry the ball, but on the play, watch the feet of the Tiger linemen. All of them get into the end zone as they execute the classic Princeton wedge in fine fashion. Brown has a brilliant quarterback in Bob Hall, and here he shows his extreme speed and cutting ability to cover 26 yards for a Brown touchdown. Paul Savage cuts through to block the attempted place kick. A great individual effort by the team captain. The Browns have the ball, and watch the split right end. The pass intended for him is intercepted by Chuck Merlini, Princeton's fine senior from Great Neck, Long Island, and he takes it to the Brown 19. Moments later, Landeck moves the Tigers to a touchdown. On a running pass, he spots Bedell in the flat. Princeton leads 35-20. Princeton's ball, right formation. Again, a running pass, and this time a change in the pattern sets Bowers free down the middle. Landeck spots him beautifully, and once more, the fleet-footed junior outraces the secondary. 4 scoring passes by Landeck in a single game sets a Tiger record. Brown strikes back, but a key interception by Malashevsky decisively ends their chances. Stosh almost gets away as he returns the ball to the Princeton 40, and the Tigers win over Brown, 45-27. A warm, sunny day in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The Tigers tackle Harvard in defense of their Big Three crown. Warren Harris studies the Crimson offense. Paul Savage opens with extremely fine defensive work, throwing Wally Grant for a 6-yard loss. Again, it's Harvard, and once more it's Savage, breaking through to rush the passer. The hurried throw is intercepted by Doug James, and it's a 1st and 10 on the Harvard 30. In this game, Landeck fires 15 successful passes, 11 of them to Cash Dollar alone for an Ivy League record. There's Lawson now, hauling one in for a 9-yard gain to the Crimson 15. Princeton's ball on the running pass again. Landeck sends another to the big Tiger end, and Cash Dollar fights his way to the 1-yard line of Harvard. From here, Bert Kerstatter drives over the line to score, and Princeton leads 7-0. Princeton's ball, 2nd quarter, running pass to the left. Again, Landeck finds Cash Dollar in the open and passes to him for a 14-yard gain. 1st and 10 on their own 46. Once more, Landeck hits Cash Dollar, who makes an excellent cut between 2 Harvard defenders. 2nd and 1. This time with backs left and line right, Landeck throws a running pass to the short side and hits Bowers for 9 more yards. Again in the so-called set formation, Landeck runs to his right and then passes to Potter. Bill makes a fine catch as he's tackled, an 11-yard gain. 7 downs later, Princeton is 2 yards away. Landeck fakes the running pass and moves on and around to score. It's a hard-fought contest in Cambridge, but Princeton wins over Harvard at Soldiers Field 14-6, his first triumph here since 1957. Time out for a minute for a closer look at Princeton's kicking specialist, Charlie Gogolak. Actually, Kit Mill, Princeton center, and Bob Bedell are part of this story, though Charlie's side-wheeling type of soccer kick is a thing of its own. To achieve what they have done, the 3 men worked every day for 4 years to perfect the total performance. Note the perfection of the pass into Bedell's hands and his spinning the ball to bring the laces forward. Bob's concentration is so great, he never moves his head. Here they are under game pressure against Dartmouth, who worked out a stunt to bother Gogolak, but of course, they're offside on this one. These types of defensive stunts are difficult to do, but Bedell's starting cadence is never the same on different field goal efforts. Because of the variations in Bedell's cadence, the defenders never know when to come. But this can get pretty rough sometimes. Gogolak sometimes takes blows from charging linemen. It's not all easy, but Charlie set all kinds of records, from 50 consecutive extra point conversions to 27 field goals during his college career, one of them a 54-yarder, for a record 164 points by kicking. Homecoming in Palmer Stadium in Princeton versus Yale. Princeton's ball as Bowers runs a reverse to the weak side behind fine blocks by Peters on the Yale end and by Dick Rogers on the Yale tackle. A 6-yard gain to the Yale 44. 3 plays later, Princeton in the I formation. Landeck and Bowers collaborate on a scissors play, and a great block by Rich Reines springs Bowers loose for a 1st down on the Yale 23. Once again, a head-on shot of Princeton coming toward you. And Landeck working the running pass to his right. He hits Pete Zaitzoff, the junior end from Beverly, Massachusetts, and the Tigers are on the Yale 12. From the I formation left, Kerstatter on the belly series. The fine block by Cash Dollar on the linebacker. And Burt gets down to the 7-yard line. It's 2nd down and 5. From 7 yards out, Landeck drives inside the Yale right tackle behind a fine driving block by Jim Stoops. But he's short of the goal line. As a matter of fact, he's just inches short of it. There's the ball, less than a foot away, and Yale digs in. But Ron Landek's a hard man to stop. He smashes over left guard, and Princeton has its first touchdown. And 38,000 fans in Palmer Stadium are delighted. Again, it's Princeton's ball, and behind fine blocks by Peters and Rogers, Bowers takes off on a reverse. Cashdollar gives him another block, and he gets a first down on the Eli's 22. There's the Princeton set formation with backfield strong to the short side. Landek sends a short pass to Peters, who gets a great block from Zaitzoff and drives all the way to the Yale 5-yard line. Goal to go for Princeton. With fine blocking from Bowers and Kerstatter, Landek powers around the corner and gets a second touchdown for the Tigers. Here's another view of that same play, showing that extra effort by those Princeton blockers. Bowers picks up to take out 2 men in a row. In this 88th meeting of these two teams, the Tigers are now out in front 14-0. Minutes later, Yale is forced to punt, and the Princeton punch suddenly starts moving. The kick is taken by Jesse Doug James on the Yale 38, and he brings it back behind a wall of Princeton blockers to the Eli's 10. Charlie Peters, filling in for the injured Bedell, makes a fine call here. He sends Landek on a double reverse around the right side. Fine faking in the Tiger backfield as Ron scores another touchdown. Landek is rightly compared with Dick Kazmaier as a superlative Princeton back, and the Tigers lead 21-0. Yale's ball as they run a counter, but fine defensive work by Savage stops them cold. The Tiger defense seems to match the offense in getting stronger and tougher. The tackle by Gibson causes a fumble, and sophomore lineman Lee Hitchner from Moorestown, New Jersey, recovers for Princeton. On 4th down and 4, Gogolak tries a 48-yard field goal, and once more, the camera follows it from behind and between the goalposts. Charlie sure hit that one on the nose. No wonder the Washington Redskins made him a first draft choice. It's Yale's ball as they fight to get back in the ball game, but Larry Stupski and a host of other Tigers just roll the ball carrier back. Watch Princeton's linebacker, Clint Johnson, the senior from Bellevue, Washington, slams into Kovacs for no gain. From the ground view, we see Princeton's great guard, Stosh Malashevsky, dispose of the ball carrier. Stosh has been drafted by the Baltimore Colts. Bill Whitten and Ed Donovan discuss game developments at the bench as the Tigers roll toward their 17th consecutive triumph. Princeton's ball, line shifting left, the back's right. On the option, Landek is superb. Ron finds a keyhole in throwing to Zaitzoff, and Pete is down in the Tiger 35. 1st and 10 for Princeton. Watch the block on the Yale left linebacker by Peters as Bill Berkeley takes the handoff and then scoots all the way to the Yale 49. That block really sprung him loose. Line right, backs left in the shift for Princeton as Landek gets the ball on the run pass option. The pass is to Peters for a short gain to the 45, where he's run out of bounds. Princeton single wing right. It's Landek on a sweep. Blocks by Bowers and Peters help him make a first down on the Yale 35 as the third quarter ends. Backs left, line right. It's an inside reverse to Bowers, who slams down to the Yale 25, and another first down. Single wing right for Princeton. It's a fake reverse to Bowers as Landek keeps on the option. Watch the block by Cashdollar after Potter gets the pass. It's a happy moment for thousands of Princeton fans in Palmer Stadium as the Tigers go ahead of Yale 31-0. Princeton's ball and a quick kick by Bill Berkeley. The junior from St. Louis, Missouri, leads the Ivy League in punting, and this demonstration shows his magic. Bill's kicking has been outstanding all year in Princeton football, and here the ball is down by Bowers on the Yale 3. Yale's ball, but watch how the Princeton rush springs Grossman through unmolested to nab Doherty in the backfield for a 10-yard loss. 2 downs later, the Elis are forced to punt. The Yale kick is a good one. And Doug James is waiting for it in the end zone. As he told the coaches later, "I thought I saw an opening." Well, he did. And except for one little step right here, he runs 106 yards. It's no touchdown, but it's a splendid run by Douglas James, an outstanding performer for the Tigers all year. And it's 17 straight wins for Princeton as Stash Malashevsky carries the game ball off the field 31-6 over Yale. Next week in Palmer Stadium as Captain Paul Savage represents the Tigers for the last time. 47,000 fans see 2 undefeated teams, Princeton and Dartmouth, fight for the Ivy League crown. Princeton's ball first quarter. Landeck is chased out of the pocket, but he gets the pass off to Bowers for a first down on the Dartmouth 46. The Tigers now in the box formation. Kerstetter to Landeck on a deep reverse. Blocks by Peters and Rogers on the Dartmouth halfback. Helps bring Ron loose all the way to the Indian 10. Landeck sets a new Princeton record in total offense, 1,949 yards for the season. On third down, Landeck runs the pass option play and finds Tad Howard open. It's a first down for Princeton with just a foot to go. On second down, Princeton's great tailback charges off tackle for the touchdown. Landeck scores his 9th touchdown of the season, and the Tigers lead 7-0. Second quarter, Dartmouth's ball. In a diversified attack like nothing they have shown all year, the Indians take off. O'Brien escapes to the outside for a 20-yard gain against the Tigers. The Lambert Trophy winner really has it today. Again, it's the Indians with quarterback Beard dropping back to pass. Merlini has his man perfectly covered, but Steve Bryan makes the catch and falls on the 1-yard line. And Dartmouth scores the very next play. By the final period, the Indians proceed to go ahead of Princeton for sure. Mickey Beard fires a bomb to Bill Calhoun for the longest scoring pass play in Dartmouth history, 79 yards. Princeton's ball, final period. Landeck back to pass. It's good to Kerstetter in the flat. And it's 1st and 10 on the Dartmouth 36, a 30-yard gain before Birch bounced out of bounds. The Tigers can no longer win, but departing senior Landeck has one more chance to pass for a touchdown. This he does when he finds Gates free. Bruce scores the final Princeton touchdown of the 1965 season as the Tigers lose to Dartmouth 28-14. It's a bitter loss for coaches and players alike as Princeton's long winning streak comes to an end at 17 games. Yet though it's a disappointing finale, it's still a great year for Tiger football. And now we say goodbye to Princeton seniors. First, the Tiger linemen. Kid Mill of St. Louis. Dick Rogers, also of St. Louis. Gary Gilbert of Nashua, New Hampshire. Lawson Cashdollar of Beaver, Pennsylvania. Stash Malashevsky of Davenport, Iowa. Dick Reines of Beverly Hills, California. James Stoops of Alliance, Ohio. And Carl Soller of Binghamton, New York. And now the backfield men who have played their last game for Old Nassau. Charlie Gogolak of Wilton, New York. Bruce Gates of Portland, Connecticut. Chuck Merlini of Great Neck, New York. Bob Bedell of Hudson, Ohio. Ron Landeck of Middleburg Heights, Ohio. Clint Johnson of Bellevue, Washington. Bert Kerstatter of Beavers Falls, Pennsylvania. And James LaFountain of Alliance, Ohio. To Captain-elect Walt Kazumbo, Ron Landak hands the traditional ball. Good luck and good football for 1966.